day. With the girl that's never late, we're always at your service. Large and small ones every size. Some are dumb and some are wise. We don't have to advertise that we're always at your service.
Historically, women have dominated the filmmaking industry since the creation of the business itself. One of the first female motion picture stars was Florence Lawrence, dubbed the Biograph Girl. Lawrence went on to become one of the first women to own a film production company. She and her husband began their own company, the Victor Company, in 1912. The pair of actors had grown tired of bouncing from company to company and decided to make their own as a solution. But like many actresses in the early filmmaking business, Lawrence struggled behind the scenes. Victor Company was eventually absorbed by another filmmaking company, the Universal Film Manufacturing Company, due in part to issues with distribution. Lawrence attempted to make a return to her acting career, but found it difficult to obtain the roles she once had. On December 27, 1938, Florence Lawrence was found dead in her apartment. She died from consuming a container of ant poison. Like Lawrence, many early film actresses suffered terrible fates. On the night of September 16, 1932, 24-year-old actress Peg Entwistle walked to the Hollywood sign, climbed a ladder to the top of the letter H, and jumped to her death. On August 5, 1962, movie actress Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home after having consumed 50 Nembutal capsules.
Through the deep, tangled wide world.
Suicides and drug overdoses are consistent problems in Hollywood. Women have been particularly affected by these issues, which suggests that the industry's problem is systemic in nature. The treatment of actresses in the filmmaking business has been notoriously abusive and exploitative. Emotional, sexual, and physical abuse are what many female actresses suffer to make it to the big screen. The most famous child actresses of the 20th century were abused by producers and film executives. In her autobiography, Child Actor, actress Shirley Temple recalled the time when she was sexually abused by Arthur Freed, a producer at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, after he exposed himself to her during a meeting. Temple said that her mother's biggest concern at the encounter was not the actions of Freed, but the actions of her own daughter, whose response to the encounter was laughter.
You're a standout.
She's cute, she's sweet, she's swell, she's grand.
The abuse of child actresses began very early in the filmmaking business, but has continued well into the 21st century. Most recently, Nickelodeon star Jeanette McCurdy recounted abuse she suffered at the hands of her own mother in McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. There, McCurdy detailed the acts of her mother in pursuance of furthering McCurdy's acting career. Calorie counting and dietary restrictions were enforced to keep McCurdy looking as young as possible. A young Judy Garland, famously known as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, was forced into similar restrictions by studio executives. Studio head Louis B. Mayer insisted Garland stay on a diet of chicken soup, black coffee, and cigarettes. By the time she finished filming The Wizard of Oz, Garland was addicted to a cycle of sleeping and energy pills. This continued until the famous actress died of a drug overdose at age 47. Although the industry has since improved in its scrutinization of women's bodies, the issue continues to be prevalent in the lives of modern-day actresses. Women are told before even being cast for roles that they must lose weight. This type of practice seems to be the norm for most modern-day actresses. Even actresses who play themselves are not spared from dietary restrictions from studio executives. Margaret Cho, a Korean-American comedian and actress, was told by American broadcasting companies that she was too overweight to play the part of herself in her semi-autobiographical sitcom, All American Girl. Later, Cho ended up being hospitalized for kidney failure due to a lack of eating. It comes as no surprise to most that Hollywood's culture is a perpetrator of poor mental health and bodily disorders. The psychological torment a woman must go through to perform for a role is oftentimes praised. Director Stanley Kubrick was hailed as a genius for his techniques in films like The Shining, where he required actors to do hundreds of takes for a single scene. His treatment of Shelley Duvall, an up-and-coming actress at the time, was abusive in nature. Kubrick reportedly isolated Duvall, told other actors not to speak with her, and forced Duvall to do as many as 127 takes of a single scene, to the point where her hands became raw from holding a prop baseball bat. This style of filmmaking led to Kubrick being considered an auteur by the industry, which is when a filmmaker whose influence over a film is so great that they are named author of the movie. After The Shining, Kubrick was hailed an auteur, and Duvall, in comparison, was given a nomination for the Razzie Award for Worst Actress in an award presented at the annual Raspberry Awards. The award was later rescinded in light of Kubrick's abuse allegations. Knowing the backstory and the way that Stanley Kubrick kind of pulverized her, I would take that back, said Maureen Murphy, who founded the Razzie Awards in 1981. Even the author of the novel from which the film was adapted from, Stephen King, was displeased with Kubrick's treatment of Duvall. According to King, Kubrick's portrayal of the character was different from the one he had written about in the books, mainly due to its misogyny.
An ethical principle is, do you? Has it ever occurred to you what would happen to my future if I were to fail to live up to my responsibilities? Has it ever occurred to you?
Along with psychological disparities in the treatment of actors and actresses, Hollywood is an infamous perpetrator of gender pay gaps. According to the University of California, Berkeley, there is an estimated difference of over 2.4 million between actors and actresses in the industry. From 1980 to 2019, there was a 25% difference in the pay between male and female actors. Actresses are being paid significantly less than their male co-stars, who have equal screen time. According to Insider, actor Mark Wahlberg was paid $5 million for his role in All the Money in the World, while his female co-star, Michelle Williams, was paid $625,000. For reshoots, Williams was paid under $1,000 for the job, while Wahlberg was awarded $1.4 million. For female actresses of color, issues of pay gaps are far worse. Most of the wealthiest actresses in Hollywood consist of white women. For example, Forbes' list of highest paid actresses in 2017 did not include a single black actress. According to a study done by Professor Stacey L. Smith in the Media Diversity and Social Change Initiative at the University of California, 25 of the top 100 films in 2016 included 0 black characters with speaking parts. 47 of the 100 top films failed to feature a black female character with a speaking part. The gap in representation and pay between white and black actresses in Hollywood is wide, and many actresses, such as 2019 Oscar-winning actress Monique, have spoken out on the subject. According to Reuters, Monique said she had to turn down roles due to the pay being significantly less than what she was making before she became an Academy Award-winning actress. The treatment of women in Hollywood is substantially worse than the treatment of men. The industry would not exist and thrive without the presence of women, but even still, the women we see on screen are underpaid, exploited, and oftentimes abused. It is crucial that the industry address these issues and work to bring about the change that is needed for female actresses to have a better quality of life. Until then, women will continue to be harmed by the film industry. For the on-screen women who have shaped the world, it is owed to them that they be treated with the same dignity, respect, and adoration as their male counterparts.
My high starched collar and my high top shoes and my hair piled high up on my head, I went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley in